Oh man. All right. Hey, you all. We're happy to have you for our 16th episode and edition of unPAC. It's a webinar series that we try to bring you once a month with speakers from inside the company that are bringing you the ideas that we're working on internally, showing you what we're doing. So, with me today, I have Piro Zisi. He's the guy the last few years who's really taken over the supply chain and logistics for Q-PAC. He's bringing you the most innovative and quite frankly, one of the fastest ways of getting you the product that we have. And that's something that Q-PAC really takes pride in, is that every aspect of what we do, we treat like a product. So we're constantly innovating and retooling it so that every day you know you're getting the absolute best thing that you can get wherever you are as a customer, somebody who's buying it, somebody who's installing it, somebody who's operating it, whether you're in the facility, whatever it is, we really want to bring you the best that we can. And our supply chain is one of the ways that we do that. So throughout the presentation, we will have the chat open so that you can reach out to Piro, reach out to me. I'll be monitoring that. I'll interrupt him a few times, maybe with some ideas or stories or questions that you all have. But at the end of the presentation, there will be a space, there will be a time for us to do a Q&A. Without further ado, I'm going to turn everything over to Piro and excited to bring you all the art of supply chains and logistics.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that warm introduction, Eddie. As Eddie mentioned, my name is Piro. I am the supply chain manager at Q-PAC. I've been with Q-PAC for over 2 years and have more than 7 years of experience in the supply chain field. During the COVID-19 pandemic, supply chain became a critical focus for many organizations due to challenges in obtaining components and materials. This highlighted the importance of understanding supply chain and its key components. On the agenda for this webinar, I want to discuss Q-PAC's supply chain philosophy, key components of our supply chain, how we have become efficient, our adaptability on highly customizable products, and the importance of collaboration. I want to also discuss data-driven decision-making and the outcomes that we have experienced through that. To finish the webinar, there are some exciting things happening at Q-PAC that I want to bring up, along with an overall top 10 trends in supply chain for 2024 that came out from the Association of Supply Chain Management. At Q-PAC, we have 4 core values that drive our supply chain strategies and ensure customer satisfaction. We are passionate, relentless, agile, and curious. By standing on these 4 values as an organization, we have not only been able to grow, but have set high expectations for where we see ourselves in the future. Being relentless and agile, we have accomplished a tremendous feat in our industry by offering 24 to 48 hours quick ships, or industry-leading 5-year warranty for our fans and products. Whenever the customer service department gets a request regarding warranty, we have the fans and parts to ship right away 99% of the time. Moving forward, we want to arm you with all of our core values. We will start providing you with a list of our current fans in stock starting this Monday and moving forward that will allow you to make quick decisions for your customers.
So this is I'll just interrupt you really quick, Piro. So this is something that we send out to everybody on Monday, and I'm jumping in because I'm responsible for getting it out to everyone. So this is going to be the new chart that you'll start seeing on Monday, and it's giving you a really quick view to better understand our inventory. So you'll see over on the right, you'll see the key that's going to help you understand what each of those little colors and symbols means, understanding the volatility or the reliability of the stock at that time. Kind of what we're doing is guaranteeing that something can happen, but we're giving you a little bit of a better understanding about the lead time and making that happen. So this is going to start going out on Monday, and I think you'll gain a lot of insight from that tool. All right, Piro, back over to you. Thanks for letting me jump in.
Of course, thank you. The key components of our supply chain are our partners that provide raw materials and components, our people in the organization, and the different activities that we do to ensure we are able to meet customer needs and deliver fans in such a short lead time. The data that we gather and how it is used to forecast, and lastly, the resources we have. One of those resources is our ERP system, which allows us to have a BOM on a highly customizable product. Each finished good is specified to a project based on dimensions and other factors, and Core can build the BOM in real time. We have configured our ERP system to ensure that data is available in real time, such as vendor on-time report, days on hand of inventory, and getting alerts as soon as an item falls under the safety stock. At Q-PAC, we value our relationships with our suppliers and stay in constant contact to check on lead times and any trends that they are seeing to help us better forecast. Our people are relentless to improving our processes, such as the new core quips that we just launched at the beginning of the month as well. Over the years, we have implemented lean manufacturing and practices that have made us more efficient during production, such as adding Kanban, a system that allows us to produce our fan harnesses in batches instead of per order, and in turn reducing wasted time. It is important, especially in small task operations that take time to set up to make one. If it is a sub-assembly component that gets manufactured daily, it only makes sense to have production make it in batches. The technology that we have added, for example, as I mentioned, our ERP system, that we are able to customize specifically for supply chain. For me, getting that data that I need in real time, instead of wasting time and running different reports and back and forth through Excel, is very valuable. One of my KPIs is to have components days on hand be between 30 and 60 days of inventory, and overall be under 90 days. I have a KPI widget that updates the days on hand inventory whenever I need it and track which components are ticking higher in inventory. This allows me to communicate with our suppliers if we need to delay a release or adjust the reorder point and safety stock. This leads to continuous improvement by regularly reviewing data. In the last 12 months, our inventory has been reduced by roughly 35%, while our sales have increased and our out-of-stock performance has decreased to almost non-existent, with only a few exceptions. In this next slide, I want to discuss Q-PAC's adaptability and how we are adapting to changes in demand and building a supply chain that can withstand disruptions. Less than 2 years ago, lead times were long and there was so much uncertainty. In such a short amount of time, we are able to offer 24 to 48 hours quick ship. If a customer places an order today, right now we could ship by July 12th, and warranty requests are handled right away because it could be a hospital that cannot afford to have the system down for an extended period. We have increased our team and cross-trained in different departments. Raw components with longer lead times have blanket purchase orders to provide a longer forecast period and in return avoid stockouts. By being proactive, working with our suppliers in production, we are strengthening the supply chain to withstand disruptions. Whenever I get asked what an important aspect in supply chain is, the answer that I provide more times than not is always communication and collaboration. You need to develop a strong relationship with your suppliers and partners and make sure there is transparency across the supply chain. But more importantly, the coordination between the different departments within Q-PAC is equally important. What we do differently at Q-PAC is always having an open door, allowing our employees to speak to leadership and upper management about any issues or concerns, and constantly talking with one another. This has helped us identify any bomb errors and reduce stockouts because we catch an issue prior to even becoming a problem. And in turn, what this means for the customer is the reduced lead time that I mentioned earlier and ensuring we ship the orders on time. At Q-PAC, we are a data-driven decision-making company, and in the supply chain, that data gathered and used to identify patterns and trend. We have created a supply chain scorecard within our ERP system that has KPIs with data updating in real time. As I mentioned above, for the on days inventory on hand. Additional data that is being gathered are vendor on-time delivery, open order estimated cost per ship date each month, and what are open PO lines that are set to be delivered on a specific month to ensure only things that are needed are coming in turn keeping inventory low and more cash on hand for other investments. There's also a report that is updated daily on usage, the past 30 days up to 180 days, and daily usage of that specific component to better forecast future trends. The great thing about our ERP system and how we have customized it is the flexibility. So we are constantly improving by adding new KPIs and reports that we want to gather. For a case study, two of our main challenges that I wanted to discuss was the excess inventory and prolonged lead times. Which I am sure just about every organization has experienced in the past, especially in the last 4 years. We implemented strategies and practices such as value stream mapping to identify and eliminate non-value added activities, used our newly implemented ERP system at the time to streamline purchasing and MRP by ensuring all the data was up to date, such as lead times from our suppliers, safety stocks, and reorder points. This was a continuous improvement by receiving feedback, not just from our suppliers, but also from Q-PAC employees in production and the rest of the team to make sure the bombs are correct. As I mentioned before, collaboration is one of my biggest things. And this is how we've gotten to the point where we are now and how efficient we are. Through collaboration, our results have seen us reduce lead times for our customers to 2 to 3 weeks currently. As I mentioned, July 12th, if we place an order today, and at times improving inventory management as well, which has enhanced customer satisfaction. This project demonstrates how our supply chain philosophy in action can drive significant improvements and deliver tangible benefits across our organization. We are also in the process of expanding our building and increasing our square footage, which will lead to increasing inventory space. In the future, if we experience any delays with fans or other components, we are better prepared now with this increased space to increase our inventory of our most critical components to ensure the lead times for our customers stay the same and are not affected. This new space should be finished hopefully sometime in the next 6 to 12 months. And if you guys, whoever is attending our Q-PAC Summit in October, I'm sure we'll go a little bit more in detail on that. I hope to see some of you guys there. In the last slide, I wanted to share some information about from the Association of Supply Chain Management, or ASCM, which I am a member of, and I'm certified in planning and inventory management. The forefront of many conversations in planning and inventory management throughout the world has to do with AI. It is the same for supply chain, where the top 3 trends are in digital supply chain, big data analytics, and AI. One thing that stands out to me is the supply chain investment, which is new on the list at number 4. And in hindsight, it goes with the top 3 trends, in my opinion. I have been fortunate at Q-PAC that they have allowed me to pursue certifications and credentials while also sending me to seminars, conferences, where I am able to interact with professionals in my field. We are always innovating, and one of the most compelling things about Q-PAC is if it is something that could improve the way we do supply chain, we will invest in it without any questions asked. Overall, I am really excited to see what the future holds and how far we could go as a company, and also in supply chain with the new trends with AI, the way that it's getting improved now, and the way that it improves processes. I'll pass this over to you, Eddie.
Yeah, easy enough. Nice and quick, keeping it right around 15 minutes. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, any stories, anything that they want to share, the chat is the best way to drop that in, and I can ask Piro, but and then maybe I will surprise them with a few questions of my own, like like what is it, Piro, that makes us able to do? You spoke to it a little bit, but what are some of the things you're the most proud of that make us able to do things like 24 and 48-hour quick ships?
Well, the thing that stands out the most is how quickly we respond to each other as far as the different departments within Q-PAC. If I have a question about a component, if there needs to be something such like an alternative component to be purchased because of a delay, engineering is very, very quick to provide responses on what will work for our products. We work together as one unit, even though we're in different departments, and that's one thing that really has stand out to me on how open we are through communication and working together.
Yeah, I think you've nailed that. That even just in marketing, if I need to go talk to somebody from engineering, even when I'm remote, it's really easy to get a hold of somebody, and just moving through the different departments, everybody is actively working to get the job done. So especially on something like when a hospital calls and says, hey, we need a fan and we need it now. everybody kind of mobilizes pretty quickly, and it's a really cool thing to see.
Exactly, and I mean it's amazing as we've seen, just not even a month ago, where we had employees staying here till 8, 9 o'clock at night when the shift ends at 3:30 p.m. just so this way they could complete that project. I believe it was for a hospital. So it's really a team unit that makes everything work and flow together.
Yeah, and it's a lot of the systems and other things that we invest in on our side of things to make that deliverable, right? Like, can you speak whatever you feel comfortable sharing on some of those products and things that we use, being able to make those happen?
Well, I mean, the main one was our ERP system that we put into place a little bit over 2 years ago. That was before, we the MRP system really, the ERP system really sets in motion on how supply chain is run, or manufacturing in total. But it is such a large investment that's getting put in to do that, and a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure all the bombs are correct, how the production workflow is set in place. And we're actually, even right now, we are very invested in new exciting new things that are going to be coming. I'll say it in that sense, that should be coming within the next few months, on how we have improved our products, and some exciting features that they will be having. We are in the process of doing that right now. So some really interesting and exciting things that will be coming, that we have invested within the last few months.
That was a great press conference answer. You got everybody excited about the new stuff coming, but you didn't give away the industry secrets. You'd make a heck of a professional coach. Sounds exactly how an interview should go. Yeah, we really take all those things serious about investing in everything that's going to bring you the best product possible. And part of that product is the speed with which you can get it, where you can get it, and how you can get it. So when we were talking about I'll go back a little bit. We were talking about that fan stability chart. We want to make sure that at the start of each week, you understand what that standard ship date is going to be. That if you place an order, usually within that week time frame, that you can see at the top standard available ship date. And we created this example on April 17th, that it really was within that less than 4 week time frame. And we want to make sure that we keep that available to you for the most part all the time. So we look at a lot of these numbers and we try to generate really stable understanding of what our inventory is for the next week, as well as for the next 8 to 10 weeks, making sure that we can fulfill a lot of those orders. So when you get this fan stability chart, you'll start to see that there's never a doubt on fulfilling the project. It's just, you might have just a little bit more time than that standard ship date. But usually if you have 8 to 10 weeks, the likelihood is most projects within a certain scope are absolutely going to be accomplished.
I see that Curtis Rowe has a question about what ERP system that we currently are using. It is Acumatica. It is a single data model, flexible deployments, streamlines integrations, real-time insight on data, which is because it is a cloud-based ERP. So it does help improve the day-to-day operations, because you have 24/7 access to the tools no matter where you are. Especially for me as well, I could even access it through the app, through my phone, if I need to take a look into some sort of report or data. So it's a really neat feature.
Yeah, it links and plays really well with a lot of the other programs that we're running in Q-PAC to make sure that a lot of things that are workflow automated are happening, and that there's great and consistent communication. And Curtis, I don't know if you follow Acumatica on LinkedIn, but they did a great little piece about our guys, Piro and Lewis, and a couple other people within the office, and about how we were one of their success stories. And it was really cool to have Acumatica come in and do a feature on us. We had a lot of fun doing that.
Yes, they sent the link, I believe, about a month ago or so, right? With the video and the presentation.
So yeah, we can post that ourselves, but yeah, on Acumatica's LinkedIn, you'll be able to see it, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, correct. We had a lot of fun, and it was a huge transition for us, and it's really brought a lot of value to the company. So able to run lean, like Piro said. Can you speak to that a bit, Piro? What lean manufacturing practices are, and kind of how we're implementing some of them?
Well, as I mentioned, the Kanban, that's one of the implementations, but lean manufacturing, or at least in the supply chain side, it definitely has to do with how we handle inventory management. We have been able to reduce inventory, as I mentioned, about 35% with in the last 12 months, while also our sales have increased. Our out of stocks, as I mentioned, was basically non-existent at the moment. It's just some, of one of like a special occurrence if that does happen. So we've been able to meet our customer demands while lowering inventory. Um, and that has to do with staying between that 30 and 60 days of inventory, as I mentioned. My goal is always in the beginning of the month to have a component be at 60 days of inventory, just in case the supplier sees some sort of delay, transportation gets lost. This way you have some sort of buffer. I know the safety stock should cover that as well, but I like to have it around 30 days on my preference, and in the end of the month to be around 30 days. So and then the release comes in the beginning of the month. So that's the way that I look at the supply chain and the lean manufacturing, or the supply inventory management side.
Sure. Is there any reason for you that 30 and 60 days are those important milestones and benchmarkers?
Well, it's for me, usually the lead time for our components, it's around 30 to 60 days, or 30 days, especially now after COVID. Lead times have drastically have decreased, but I like to keep a little bit of buffer. Safety stock is usually a little bit less conservative when the way that I have it set up in the system, and then the reorder point is a bit higher. But keeping the days on hand has to also do with the turnover rate. For instance, the turnover rate for us in the last, for the end of May, from last May to the end of this May, was a little bit over 7, the turnover rate, which is really good. And it also means that we are turning over our inventory every 45 days on average, which falls right in between that 30 and 60 days that I've been trying to hit. And also, as I mentioned, it reduced our inventory. Following that model, has reduced our inventory by 35%, but also not running out of stock. So it's something that has been working for us. Inventory has been staying under my budget, which has been great, and just not having production telling me that we're running out of products, components. We're constantly talking, because especially in the beginning when I saw inventory get reduced to that specific level, it made me a little bit a bit nervous. Maybe the bombs are not correct, and what I'm showing that I have on hand is not correct. And then it just it builds that confidence that it is working, the formulas and the things that we have set in motion. And then it also is very helpful when the other employees, especially in production, that are working with those components each day, when they are open to, they're like stakeholders and take accountability on the products, even though it's up to me in the end of the day to make sure that they have those products there. They take accountability, and we communicate almost daily.
Sure. From your experience, what's the benefit of running that lean?
Well, if you have an extensive inventory, you're basically, you're keeping cash locked into products. If if our turnover rate was 3 or 4 times a year, you're basically keeping a product or a fan, for instance, for 6 months, 7 months or longer before it actually goes out to the customer. So you really want to have cash on hand to invest in future technologies and your employees, and also have products that not to be staying up in the shelves for too long, for an extended period
Sure.
of time.
Yeah, you don't want to send out stale bread, right? We want to get the
Exactly.
freshest bread to we get the freshest bread to the customers. And then last question that I have, and we'll see if anybody else pops in the chat with one, is can you just speak to the relationship that we've developed with our suppliers and our vendors, and how critical that is for us?
Well, that has to be one of the most critical things in supply chain, and I think sometimes it might be overlooked as well. But our suppliers are our partners. I like using partners, the word partners, more
Sure.
using the word suppliers, because in the end of the day, that communication with them is very, very important, especially catching. So if you have a release or a purchase order with an estimated date of arrival or a requested date of arrival, we could use July 1st for an example. Having that relationship with that supplier, when you have a good relationship with them, they will fight for you, Nick and Tooth, to try to get that product if they're seeing some sort of delay from a manufacturer or from from their end. They work really hard when there's a good relationship to make sure that they bring that product to you on time. And also, but if they're not able to, or if there's some sort of delay on their end, we are made aware much sooner than when the day of delivery is. So that, for me, those are the two most critical things: being able to communicate with them, for whenever there's some delay, to finding it well ahead of time, so this way you could react, and also for them to be able to work as hard as they can for you to make sure that they meet that delivery date.
Nice. Yeah, we really take those partnerships seriously. We work with a lot of them. We love visiting them. We love when they visit us, and since we're a partner with a lot of you all, like Piro said earlier, and this is a shameless plug by marketing, we are having our Impact event October 17th. So
that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be
full day event. We did it 2 days last year, but this year we're going to experiment with 1 day. So we'd love to have you all come down to St. Augustine, spend some nice weather with us. We'll do some product talk, some product demonstration. Our sponsors will have a mini expo set up for you all to visit. We'll have some entertainment. We'll definitely have food. There'll be a happy hour, but a lot of
I'm looking forward to the entertainment. I'm not sure how much you could share with everyone or not, but
we're gonna Monday they'll see. We're gonna send out the full blast on Monday, but registration is open, and we're always looking for people interested in joining the partnership on the sponsorship side. I know Piro takes a lot of that on himself and looks for a lot of vendors and people that are in the Airstream with us, solving a lot of really complex problems, and bringing them into the fold and making this a community way to tackle the future. And we're excited by it. So yeah, we'll sit around for another minute. If anybody has any other questions, we've kept you right around that neat and tidy 30-minute webinar mark. So we'll hang out for a second, and then this whole presentation will be available on Q-PAC.com. We have an unPAC channel there in a Netflix style gallery, which is pretty cool. It will be available on YouTube, and then we'll also kind of flip this into a blog post and shoot that out. So if there are any key takeaways or points that you want to share with anybody else in your office, your mom, your sister, your dad, your cousin, whoever cares about supply chains and the value that it brings, we'll definitely make sure we get you that content. So yeah, we'll hang around for a minute more, and we appreciate you all joining us today. And next month we'll have another one. We have yet to determine the speaker, but we'll get that out to you in the next few days. So
yeah, we had a really great support and feedback from our suppliers to be sponsors at our summit, which was really great, neat to see. And the response was, same day or next day for the most part, which was really, which kind of shows the type of partnership that we have with them and how much it's valued.
Yeah, we love working with all those teams. I mean, they visit us often. We love visiting them, and we would not be where we are without the relationship and the innovations that they're bringing. So we really value them, and Piro's a big part of making that happen. So, well, it looks like we don't have any questions coming in. We will thank you again for joining us, and we will see you all soon, hopefully in October. Bye,
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Eddie.